Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome to a very special edition podcast featuring myself, Charles, and today I'm joined by a new co-host, Jess Brockmeyer. Jess, would you like to introduce yourself?
So I'm a new addition here, and I'm excited to be here to work with all of you guys on this podcast.
Right on. And today we actually have several different members from three different podcasts, the Monday Mix, Mondays with Us, and Thursday Thoughts. And we thought it would be a good idea if we went around the room and everyone introduced themselves.
Hi, my name is Tyrone, and I'm from Mondays with Us.
Hey, I'm Horace from Mondays with Us.
Hi, I'm Josh, and I'm from the group Thursday Thoughts.
Hey, this is Zach Porter from Monday Mix.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm from Thursday Thoughts.
Hey, I'm Destiny, and I'm from Thursday Thoughts.
Alright, since we've got so many different people here from many different groups and many different backgrounds, we've really just been conversing all day about who we are, where we're from, what we're into. And Josh, did you want to begin by telling us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. So, I currently live in Maryland, in Aberdeen, Maryland. However, I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm actually adopted. I was adopted as a young baby, and I lived in New Orleans for about 6 years. Then I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, because of my dad's job.
Albuquerque, really?
Yes, it's a great state, interesting culture, wonderful sightseeing opportunities. It was really nice.
I've heard good things. It's got one of the coolest names of any
Well,
city too.
They call New Mexico Letter Enchantment, and I really believe it is. It's very interesting. I really miss it. I want to go back, but never had the chance. So.
Everyone I've heard of who lives there always says they want to go back.
Yeah, I miss it. And then I moved here to Maryland in 1999, and I've been living here ever since. And I consider Maryland the place I grew up.
That's awesome, Josh. Thank you.
How do you think Maryland's culture compares to New Mexico?
Well, New Mexico is very unique because there's a strong Native American presence in New Mexico. So we really got to learn their culture, their way of life. We had their food. I tried their food several times, so festivals. It was just really interesting culture. And Maryland just doesn't have that unique kind of culture.
Well, we have some unique foods, right? Seafood.
Sure.
Crabs.
That's true.
Yeah, Maryland's got quite a unique culture for its state, I think.
Yeah. True.
But
What food did you try that you liked?
Well, I love beef jerky, and they make homemade beef jerky.
Okay.
And it's delicious. And that's one thing I miss about New Mexico is that it's not like the beef jerky you get at the store. It's all processed and artificial, but it's real beef and it's really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
sure. So,
I think I have had. Well, I'm like mostly German or Filipino. I have had a little bit of like Filipino stuff that was like food, and well, it was food. But yeah, what else can I say? I'm also German. Yeah, a German restaurant before. The food was good. From what happened, my Filipino side though was like double chicken.
adobo chicken?
Yeah.
I've always heard of
that
that.
stuff with like rice would be kind of like very salty, like it has some hint of like vinegar or something.
That's interesting, Nick. Can you describe what it's like? The chicken?
It's like, I can't quite say soy sauce because it's not quite soy sauce, but I'm trying to describe the best way I could, where it's kind of like a vinegar, kind of like brown sauce kind of thing,
Sure.
but it has a salty flavor to it.
Does it have a smokiness?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of, but
Mm.
I say it? It's been the longest time ever since I had it. Where basically, I remember that basically I would live with my dad and that'd just be everyone's transition thing. My stepmom learned how to cook it because she was learning from my grandmother about the whole grandmother recipe of double chicken, how she makes it. So it just kind of spreads around the family that they want to learn how to make it, and they embrace that culture because that's where they came from. That's the heritage that they came from.
Right, the flavors probably maybe remind them of their childhood or where they came from. Remind them of home.
And
Nostalgia.
for German food, I've been to a German restaurant. There's like one in like Maryland.
Is
I
there?
can't quite remember
There was-
where though.
There was one in Aberdeen,
There is?
Prost, but it just closed. But they had
Okay,
a
really?
ton of German food.
Nick, what's your favorite German food that you've tried that you really enjoy?
I really have no idea, but I think it basically be like fish and chips.
That's English.
That's English, you sure?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
Wonder, do they eat that in Germany too? Is that like a European thing? Or mostly just England?
I think mostly just English.
German food tends to be a lot of like
Sausage
bratwurst, like sausages, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bratwurst,
Oh, yeah.
Potatoes.
yes,
Yeah. A lot of potatoes, right?
a lot of potatoes.
It's been a while, so I
Mustard,
can't
pretzels.
remember. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean like, yeah, sausage is pretty popular there. I remember my grandmother had a story where she lived in the Philippines, and how she lived was basically her husband was trying to be a hero, and basically he was trying to go pace himself back and forth, picking people up from ships that were injured and all that. Like he paced himself, went all the way from here to there.
Rescuing people? Like,
Yeah, rescuing people pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
because during that time, the Philippines was being attacked during the World War II. And she lived around that time witnessing all that. Keep in mind, that was a very devastating time because it's like people were struggling financially, they were struggling physically, they were just like holding on to what they could hold on to survive. It was even like that in America because the Wall Street market crashed and everything. And ironically, also from what I know, is like my mom's side of the family, from my German side, were basically my granddad, he didn't like this whole thing going on with the Nazis and whatnot when he was a kid. And so basically, maybe it's either him or my dad's dad, I would say, that basically spoke up about the situation about Hitler. And because he did, he was against his beliefs and all that. He got himself,
Yeah, got in trouble for his political beliefs.
That's very scary and brave, you know,
I know, that's crazy.
The Nazi regime.
Because he spoke up about openly.
Wow.
Right.
Well, I studied World War II intensively, so I know a lot of the Nazi regime, and they certainly wouldn't allow that. If you spoke up against Hitler, you could be executed.
Right.
It was a crazy man.
Yeah,
It was a
your
crazy
family
man.
could be killed too.
So even though I'm not like fully 100% on my German side being supportive, I think that there's a lot of things I admire being a German, being part of that relative family because of my relatives and how they spoke up on something and stood up for those that were suffering.
Yeah,
They just had their
Yeah.
mind spoken to be like, this isn't right, this chaotic, I do not condone this,
Yeah.
I want no part of it.
Good. Yeah, sounds like your family's on the right side of history, as they say.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an incredible story. Thank you for sharing that with us. I was wondering, does anyone else know much about like their family's heritage, like where they may have originated from?
I'm 6% Cherokee on my mom and my father's sides.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow, Zach, tell us a little more about that.
I don't know much about it. I just know I'm just 6% Cherokee on both sides. 3% on one side, 3% on the other.
Very cool. How did you find that out?
My mom told me.
Okay. Passed down by your mom. Neat.
I know that we have American Indian in my family as well, but very, very small. So the fact that you know that you have that much, that's amazing.
Yeah. My mother or my father told me something I don't want to sure.
That's fascinating, Zach. Thank you for sharing. We've got some quiet people here today who weren't so quiet just a little while ago. I'm wondering if anybody else would like to tell us a little bit about where you're from.
I actually, I have a family who I used to live with, and they are basically mixed. They're basically mixed with the same as I am, so they're like white, black, and Korean.
And Korean?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's
Destiny,
cool.
that's your own culture as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. How do you think that changes your perspective on things?
I think it kind of like changes it's like I mean I kind of like the same it's basically my different the way that there's different things that I'm interested in.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah, like my music changes. Because I used to like country music so much, and that's a white people thing, I believe. But I think there are black people that like country music too.
Oh yeah, well music genres can be for anyone really, but yeah, I think country did originate in the country of the United States. So you used to listen to country, but not so much anymore?
Yeah, not so much.
What are you into now?
I'm into hip hop and R&B.
Okay, very cool. How about, have you ever listened to Korean music? Like K-pop is a really big deal right now.
I know my sister listens to it. I don't think I've listened to it that much.
Okay. Well, if you like pop music, you might like it. Not necessarily because of your heritage, but just because it's good music.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's awesome, Destiny. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
How about you, Tyrone, Horace? Haven't heard much out of you during this discussion yet.
I was saying I wanted to say I was born in Franklin Square Hospital, and I was raised in Edgewood, Darlington, Joppatown.
So you were raised all over different parts of Harford County, huh?
You could say that I stayed in Joppatown, but I never lived Joppatown. I stayed in Aberdeen, but I never lived in Aberdeen. And I stayed in Havre de Grace visiting and stuff, but I never lived like I wish I did.
Gotcha. I know you told me Havre de Grace is like your dream place to live, huh?
Yes, I've been about not too long ago.
Oh, literally your dream place.
Tyrone, why do you like Havre de Grace so much?
Oh, that's Horace.
I'm sorry.
Tyrone and Horace.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What draws you to Havre de Grace?
Well, the things I like to do.
What?
I like walking the boardwalks, going to these nice restaurants, meeting nice people. It's very nice. Has more better stuff than they do in Edgewood. I was raised in Edgewood, Darlington, for the most part, Falston, Perryville. But I was more raised in Edgewood.
Gotcha, Horace.
I actually like to walk the boardwalks in Havre de Grace as well. I do that with CP and with personal supports.
Oh yeah, perfect time of the year to do that. I'm actually going there after work today.
Oh.
Just to walk the boardwalk, hang out, enjoy the nice weather.
Havre de Grace has a lot of history, and it's a very interesting town. I like going there.
Yeah, this is like a little hidden gem right before you get out of Harford County.
Have you guys been down to where the man is painting all of the murals of the history of Havre de Grace?
I haven't even heard of that. Just where is
It's
that?
so it's down close to the marina by the water,
Uh-huh.
and they call it the Gra, which was the name of the horse race track.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And they've got one of the old gates that the horse would come out, but the guy has painted, the history of the racetrack.
I
They're
think it's
used
a
to.
picnic area.
They do, I think there's a walkway, a path, and some places to sit, but everywhere on like 3 or 4 different buildings are huge murals
I've seen that.
of the history of Happy
Well, I would
Grace.
love to go see that.
It's really amazing. The artist's name is Ezra Berger. He's a really nice guy.
That might be a fun little destination
It's-
podcast spot.
Oh, it really would be.
We might have to make a trip down there.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Cool.
How about you, Tyrone? You've been awful quiet. Where are you from, then?
I don't know where I'm from, but I was adopted. My mom adopted me and 11 other people, so
Your mom adopted you and 11 other people?
yeah.
Simultaneously or like throughout the years? Were you and 11 people living under the same roof at the same time?
Yeah.
Wow, man. What was that like?
I don't know. I was young, so
Do you remember much from that time?
no.
How about after you lived there, Tyrone? Do you remember where you lived next?
So we lived on Edmond Street first. That was also in Aberdeen. And then we lived on Hillcrest Drive,
Hillcrest Drive. Where's that one?
Aberdeen also.
That's also Aberdeen. So you spent most of your childhood growing up in Aberdeen, huh?
Aberdeen, yeah.
Gotcha. And were you with the same adoptive parents the whole time, or did you kind of bounce around a little bit?
Yeah.
So when you moved, did you move with all 11 of your brothers and sisters?
They kind of split it up. Because some of them went to different, like they went on their own and stuff. Like my sister had a kid, she had a couple of kids, and then she went on her own. And then my other sister went into the army. And then my brother went into not the army, they both went to the Air Force. And now my sister's out of the Air Force, but my brother's still in the Air Force.
Are you able to see all of your siblings regularly?
Yeah, when they're not busy.
What's regularly? Because I know my dad has 10 brothers and sisters, and they have to, set a date every 3 months to meet in a restaurant to catch up and talk, and they all live in Harford County. So how do you guys all get together?
Usually holidays or something like that, so most of them come down, most of them don't. So,
And do you meet up at your adoptive parents' house?
my mom's place,
At your
yeah.
mom's place? Oh, cool. And you're telling us a little bit about this earlier. You said the age range. You guys are all kind of the same age too, huh?
Yeah, I'm in the middle though.
You're right in the middle.
Yeah. I'm like Malcolm in the middle.
Malcolm in the middle. Tyrone in the middle.
Yeah, myself, Tyrone.
You say you're also a middle
Yeah.
child, Josh?
Yeah, I'm a middle child. I have one brother who is older and one who's younger, and I'm in the middle.
Very cool. And are those your adoptive, or are they?
Adopted, yes.
I can't imagine what it would
And
be
we're
like.
very close. Well, it's interesting for me because like I never grew up in a foster home or anything like that. So I don't know, like my adopted family always just felt like my family. I've talked to other people who've been adopted before, and sometimes it's hard for them to kind of figure out who's family.
Ah,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah, you gotta go by the feel of it, huh?
Yeah.
Like who feels like family. But you were adopted at birth.
At birth, so yeah, I never had to go through that.
Okay, so that's your family, and that's
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's awesome, Josh. Wow. I was never adopted, but we did take in a foster sibling for many years. When we got him, I think he was 16 and I was 13, so he was already basically grown.
Yeah.
But yeah, we put him up for a couple of years, tried to help steer him onto the right path.
Can I ask you guys close, did you have a good relationship?
We were. We grew up skateboarding together, going to concerts, just doing all this fun stuff that I think he really didn't get the chance to do growing up. So my parents just wanted to not spoil him, but just give him, experiences where you can learn more about yourself and thrive.
I like that.
So yeah, we went on vacations. He was like my best friend for a little while.
Cool. Do you still keep in touch?
Not so much anymore. No, he kind of went off, did his own thing. But yeah, I hope he's doing all right. I wonder about him sometimes. All right, guys. Well, we're hitting pretty close to the 20-minute mark here. Was there anything anyone else would like to say, or any questions anyone would like to ask? You know, we've got a very diverse group of people here.
Oh, I know I said this before too. I was actually adopted by my foster mom because my birth mom couldn't take much care of me.
So you were adopted as well. How old were you when you were adopted, Destiny?
I was probably about 4 because she had me when I was 4 years old.
Oh wow, okay. And you still keep in touch with your birth mother, is that right?
Yes.
That's awesome. You guys so you have a good relationship with your adoptive mother and your birth mother.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's good people out there, you know, that'll help out and, you know, do what needs to be done.
Well, you know, the one thing I'll say, and I didn't mention this during my segment, but even though I don't know my birth mother, I am happy that she told the hospital, you know, that she did try to take care of me, and that she made sure that I was going to find a good family. So I'm always thankful for her for doing that.
Wow.
For picking me up, to keeping me safe and healthy, and I've had with a very good family, which I love very much, but I really appreciate that she did the responsible thing and made sure I was okay.
Wow, I guess she maybe made the right decision. Do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Incredibly hard decision, but very selfless.
Exactly, yeah.
Alright guys, well thank you so much for sharing. You know, I know some of this got pretty personal, but you guys did a great job, and I can't wait to have more discussions with everybody. This has been fun. Alright guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much to everyone at home for listening, and stay tuned for more group specials.